my last classes week. Then the other one going to be only exams. Then I'm pretty stressed with a lot of work that I'm doing right now.
You're gonna finish classes at Instituto?
Yes, of this semester. I'm going to end first semester. Mickey going to end his career.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, yes.
How do you feel? He must feel very happy, but I imagine you too, right?
I don't know about him. I guess yes, because almost all his career, he said that he don't like at least his group. I don't know. I'm not in his mind.
But you're happy. How do you feel?
I'm happy, of course. I'm feeling a little nervous because I know that I'm the middle of my career and everything is going very fast. But I'm happy because we have 2 months um, of vacations and I'm pretty. How can I say dispuesta?
Willing.
I'm willing to take advantage of it the most I can. Then
How is that, if I can ask?
Oh, I propose myself that it's not difficult to me, for example, go to the gym at least 4 days per week at 7 a.m. because it is a class in that hour that I like very much. Other one is learn some design programs, new programs that in my school going to teach me until 8 semester, and I want to learn them now.
Which
I'm
which
going
are
to,
those? Which programs are those?
for example, the one that I'm pretty willing to learn it's After Effects from Adobe.
Which is
Uh,
that?
After Effects is about to do corporative animations, like more related animations, more related to advertisement.
Well, that is fabulous.
Yeah.
How about the Mitch? Let me ask you this: how about the hardware? Now that you mentioned advertisement, which I believe is incredibly interesting, what about the screens, the huge screens that you place? And for example, near the bridge, when you go to Plaza Cibeles, there is a huge screen.
Mhm.
I don't know if that is expensive. I imagine it is very expensive.
Yeah.
Permits, communications, not only the software, but the hardware. Have you given a thought to that, or that's not something that really appeals you too much?
What do you mean? In the way that we send it to my client or what?
It's part of the business. It's part of the umbrella. Of course,
Yes.
you know what you want to do. I'm not going to tell you what you want to do. All I want to
uh,
say is that um, it may be part of what you, excuse me, of what you may want to do, but I don't know really. I
uh,
know that advertisement includes two things: the contents and the means of transmission, which is the antenna, the screens, obviously the permits to transmit. Mm, I don't know if you know what I mean. You understand what I mean?
I think so.
So maybe eventually being the owner of some cameras, some screens that you can place in Cibeles, that you can place here and there. And not only you are the owner of the machines, of the screens, but you also make contracts with the companies. You make contracts with different companies that want to be advertised in Cibeles, or companies like Flecha Amarilla that has videos in their cameras in the back seats of the in the back of the seats. Mm, there are so many. Of course, I'm just speaking lyrically, right?
Mm.
I'm not an expert on the topic, but I see ideas where you can probably get some profit, some benefit, some advantage, and I'm just asking if you have thought of those ideas, and I'm sure you have. Just out of curiosity.
Well, I was thinking like, well, first. learn about the program, then practice by myself, publishing in the social media with public objective, public target, which people were interested in that kind of contents. For example, little enterprises or maybe huge enterprises. Because, for example, my boyfriend knows pretty much about this program, and he is working in Danone, doing advertisements for them right now.
Oh, really? Wow, that's
Yes,
fabulous, fantastic.
and I want to do something related to that. Maybe an English an English company. Maybe not starting with a little company. Maybe who knows, something bigger.
That's a great idea. Absolutely great. Do you discuss your ideas with your dad or with your mom?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. What do they say? How do they like your ideas? Because they seem very entrepreneurial, very pioneering, really, really good. But what do
They,
they say?
they encourage me to never stop learning, and that's something that I totally agree.
Absolutely, yeah, because you never stop learning.
Uh-huh.
You can be a champion, you can be a state champion, you can be the national champion of design, and you still continue learning. So that's a
Uh-huh.
very good attitude.
Indeed.
So you find plenty of opportunities for this summer. For this summer, I mean for this break, right?
Yeah. Also, maybe edit videos in a more professional way. Also, edit audio and music, create music, and that's some softwares that I'm willing to learn these vacations. Ay, güey.
I offer my daughter um, the possibility to buy one of those animations that, like the one you did to me, and I told her that I would pay for it, but that she needs to find a design that she finds suitable. She has started to sing more professionally. She sings in in Querétaro. She competed in a program and she was accepted as one of the 20 people that were selected to this festival in Querétaro out of 200. So she was chosen and she um, has made some compositions. And she wants to advertise herself. And I told her about the very nice design that you did to me, and I showed it to her, and she liked it very much. So I told her that I was willing to buy her a video like the one you did to me, kindly. So she's going to think about an idea. So
Mhm.
maybe she will contact you soon. If she doesn't, I will to tell you an idea of a similar design like the one you did to me with the ostrich. Remember?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, that
That was
sounds
not.
great.
Yeah, that was fabulous. Well,
Mhm.
let's work a little bit on this grammar section, which is very important, and it refers to related clauses, relative
Teacher,
clauses.
teacher.
Yes,
I was wondering if you could help me to prepare myself to an English exposition that I'm going to have tomorrow.
absolutely. Yeah, what is that about?
It is about the magic of corporate social responsibility.
That's a very nice topic.
Yeah,
You
but
have some kind of you
I'm
have some
too
kind of
bad.
presentation,
Yes, I'm too bad at exposing subjects to a group of people.
but you even sing in front of people. I think you're very good. You have a lot of confidence.
Ah, no, it's not about
What?
the confidence. About a song, I memorize a song, but it's not the same. I memorize a bunch of information. Science always I never been good at exposing subjects. Uh, if it difficult is difficult to me in Spanish, imagine in English. Well, it's maybe sometimes it's better in English because some of my classmates don't understand me very well because they don't know a lot of English. But still, is like how people tend to expose a subject easily. And I said, pues I'm going to tell my Juan if
Of
he
course.
could help me in this.
You have an idea, you have a base, you have a something,
Yes, actually, I was taking some sub subjects, subtemas,
subtopics, yes.
subtopics. Yes, one of them is me duele la espalda. Economic and reputational benefits. Well, I'm going to talk about because it's a work team. I'm going to talk social and environmental impact.
That's incredibly nice. That's incredibly nice because it is the foundation of
Ay, uy.
the continuation of life. If we have social and environmental responsibility, you said,
Mhm.
responsibility, we will take care of our planet and consequently we will still have a planet. If we are careless, if we are not careful, we simply destroy the ozone layer, we pollute the rivers, we pollute the air, we pollute the earth, the soil, and we destroy the planet. And that's very easy to do. So your topic is incredibly important.
Mhm.
Okay, well, how do you want to approach it?
What do you mean?
You want to create like an index, a table of contents,
I'm
um,
doing a Canva presentation,
Canvas presentation. Okay,
interactive presentation.
okay. And what do you want to show? What is your thesis? What is your idea when you talk about um, the importance of environmental responsibility? What is exactly that, Mitch? What is an environmental responsibility?
Uh, well, how the uh, uy, how the CSR help the world or give an a motivation to the corporatives to implement the care of the environment to their clients or to the public in general.
That sounds really nice, and from experience, I can tell you that sounds very romantic, very nice. But companies, many companies, don't care too much as they should. So the
Mhm,
question is, how are you going to convince people in the factories, in the tanneries, tannerías, for example, in Leon, to clean the water that they pollute with chrome, with brome? How are you going to convince the manager of the refinery not to toss, not to throw the water in the Lerma River that is going to pollute the Chapala Lake? And that
mhm.
has become a national problem. How are you going to convince the growers of the crops um, not to irrigate the fields with dirty water? I mean, your idea is great. The complexity is how do you implement it?
Uh-huh.
What do you have in
Uh,
mind?
as I saw lately, just lately, I see a lot of people, thousands and thousands of people in the social media that like uh, if some corporative don't respect the environment, I'm not going to buy to them. And everyone know it's not a secret that a lot of the corporatives has a social media too, and see the opinions of most of the people. And I think engaged to that, they are like implementing some laws into their corporatives to environmental care. One of them I think is Ciel,
Yeah.
because they recycle the bottles of plastic very much. And I see it, at least
Okay.
I'm not in there in the cooperative to know if totally true or not, but at least they record videos that how the process, how they recycle the plastic again. And I think that's something very nice, and me as a client give me the give me the motivation to still buy to them, something like that.
To buy from them, right? Yes. Well, um, that's incredibly interesting and very, very useful. So you want to make a presentation on the very interesting topic of um, social and environmental responsibility. So, first thing you have to do in my mind is to define social and environmental responsibility. So, my suggestion is that you start defining define social and environmental responsibility. What is this? First of all, so then you would do this is more or less the index. It's my idea, but of course you can do it the way you prefer. But you define social and environmental responsibility. You establish why it is needed. In other words, what is at risk? What are humans doing? Well, we are destroying the planet. That's it. How? Well, we are polluting the water, polluting the air, polluting the soil, creating noise, destroying the ozone layer. So you say, why is it needed? Why it is needed? Well, because we are destroying the planet. And you can give examples. You can say, um, polluting the water. You agree with that? That we are
Yes.
polluting the water? Well, what else are we doing with the planet? Destroying the ozone layer, right? This
Well,
destroying.
if I uh my personal opinion, I think, well, we as clients, as normal citizens, we are like ships. I mean, we are taking everything, depending of the enterprise, famous enterprise that we are choosing into. The I like I think the most of the fault of the damage environmental impact is from the corporatives, more like the one who makes, how can I say, ganadería?
Cattle or
Uh,
yeah, cattle.
Cattle, yes. Most like the cattle does.
Cattle or
Um,
livestock. You can also say livestock.
uh-huh.
Livestock.
Because we as a clients, we are taking the ones that, the products that we need. But if the corporative didn't do a good, a good formula to not impact too much to the, ouch, perdón, to the environment, well, that's the one that we felt. And as the same thing, the marketing I told you, if some corporates say, hey, we are social responsibility, we are eco-friendly, a lot of people going to want to buy to them. uh, but now, what told you if that is true or not? But yeah, we as a
Yeah.
normal citizens, I can recycle, I can care about all the things of my house, but we not going to do a difference with that. It's like some Mickey is here, teacher.
Mickey is here. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Let me tell him to come in. There's Mickey. Hey, Mickey. Hello. How are you today?
Hi, teacher. I'm great, thank you. And you?
Fine too. Thank you very much. More or less relaxed day, but still, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. I've been chatting with Mitch about a project that she has, which is incredibly interesting. It is called social and environmental responsibility. What do you think of this concept, Mickey?
Social and environment responsibility.
Yeah.
Um,
How do you like this concept?
well, actually, today in my class, we talk about it because we were, how do you say, complaining about the weather, or
Oh yeah.
yeah, and we were talking that obviously we have the fault because the majority of enterprises doesn't care the planet or the environment where they are uh, using their companies. And I think that it is necessary to everybody has their own responsibility with the environment and with everything in this world, because at the end of the day, obviously we're gonna stay here for a while, but then there's gonna be people who's gonna be next of us, and we need to take care of our world and take care of our society in general.
That's very true. That's very true. Thank you, Mickey. What do you think about what Mickey said, Mitch? Do you agree that we need to be very careful with the planet that we are living in?
Yes. Uh, yes. But I was telling you. Well, people as going to the years and years, going the humankind, they tend to be educated in some way because we as our initiative usually doesn't happen very much. For example, I want to put an example that the Guanajuato government years ago uh, puts a lot of propaganda and an advertisement that plastic bags in the normal stores going to be banned, and did it, and almost a lot of stores, and almost a lot of us we are using now ecologic bags. We are huge bags to put a lot of things. It's like to educate the population. Um, we who are controlling the world, and they have the power to manipulate in good way or bad way the population.
Yeah, very good comment. And normally it's in a bad way. Normally, not always, but I mean because they look for the immediate profit, and they say, well, the rest I don't care. So I'm gonna chop off many trees, and if the sierra or if the forest becomes dry, well, that will be for the next generation, not for me. So they don't care too much. But well, we were saying about your presentation because Mitch is gonna make a presentation, Mickey. Is that correct, Mitch?
Yes.
So I would suggest that we start defining what is social and environmental responsibility. What is that? The second is why is it needed? What happens? What is happening at the moment? Well, we are polluting water. We are destroying the ozone layer and we are erosionando the fertile lands. So I believe this is something very serious. If we pollute the water, what are we going to drink?
Hmm.
If we destroy the ozone layer, what are we going to breathe? Right? And if we erode the fertile lands, Well, where are we going to eat? So it's a serious problem, right? So we need to take care of the environment. How would you take care, or better care, Mitch, and then Mickey? How would you take better care of the water, the layer, the ozone layer, and the fertile lands? How would you take better care of these concepts? They would tell you, Mickey, we need to be very careful with the air because we are polluting it. We need to be very careful with the water also and with the fertile lands, Mitch. What do you do?
Mm, well, not too much people do this. For uh, I personally share information why they are telling me to do that and that, and I see the pros and cons. But in this topic and specifically, there are a lot of pros to care about the environment. For example, let us live, um, and well, I try to help in some way, but me as a normal citizens, I can't do too much. Then it's like convince to other people and educate the other ones to care about the environment too.
Well, yeah, but when you say, I don't know if you agree with this, Mickey, when you say, I don't know if I can do much, aren't you in a way limiting yourself a little bit? Because people like you, like Mickey, who have a lot of energy and a huge drive, I don't think there's a task that you say, oh, that is too big for me, or that is too complex for me. So I think that sometimes it's how we define the complexity of a problem. And pretty soon you're going to be very, very well off when you talk about the solutions, because this is a problem that affects us all and a solution that interests us all.
Yes.
However, we continue polluting the water, eroding the lands, and destroying the ozone layer. So, can we do anything, or we should enforce it through the government? What do you think, Nikki?
Um, well, I think that we can do a lot of things too. Obviously, we have the support of the government. Will be will be perfect, but we can start from ourselves. I think that there are things that if we do these little changes, we can make a big advance in social responsibility and to take care of our environment.
Okay, I just mentioned two or three problems, but I am sure that if you Google, you would find which are the problems of social and that require social and environmental responsibility. How many issues do you think you're gonna find, Mitch or Mickey? For example, if I Googled uh, which are the main problems that require social and and environmental responsibility. Which are the problems that require this? Well, energy use. Can you read the Mitch, please?
Are you sharing, teacher?
I thought I was. I'm sorry. I think no, I'm not. Now I am. I think. Tell me, please, if I'm sharing.
Yes,
Can you see? Yes. Okay. So, Mitch, if you can please read about the main problems that require social and environmental responsibility, please.
sure. Corporate social responsibility, environmental impact, energy use, water use, waste management, recycling, emissions, eco-friendly office and business travel policies.
Okay. Why are these useful or why are these important?
Uh, to maintain a balance with the environment and the civilization
Okay.
working.
Yeah, of course. However, they show us many interesting concepts. For example, energy use. We need to understand what the demand is and what the supply is. Do you think Mexico is deficitary or we have excess energy to produce? How do you think we are in terms of generation? Because another thing is transmission. How are we in terms of generation of energy? Are we
Could you,
self-sufficient? We need more. Uh, in terms of energy, how are we regarding energy?
what was regarding?
With respect, related to respect regarding to the use of energy. Are we
Oh,
self-sufficient? We are deficitary. Do we need more? What do you think? How do you think we
um,
rank regarding energy production?
well, maybe we are using more than we need to because a lot of people use it by commodity or entertainment a lot of time, like the in the current in the current years that people pays hours and hours in the TV looking at Netflix, for example.
Yes, 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 yes. But what is the argument with that, Mitch?
Mm, maybe instead of doing something productive, you are wasting your time. But no, but I could say a little hypocrite because I was telling you that I want to learn about some softwares and I'm going to use electricity too. Then I don't pretty sure.
Okay, well, thanks for the sincere answer. The energy use, Mickey, these are the elements that worry corporate and social responsibility, right? The environmental impact. So when I say how is our energy use, we are producing enough or we are not producing enough to supply the requirements of energy in the country. What do you think, Mickey? We have enough offer to deliver energy to every person in Mexico, or we don't produce enough energy? What do you think?
Uh, well, I think that we have enough energy, but it's a reality that there are people who doesn't have access to that. So I would say that yeah, we have the uh, we produce enough energy, but not all people could enjoy it.
Okay. That's an important question because it's part of what Mitch was saying here that social responsibility includes, I'm going to number them, Mitch, if you wish. I'm going to
Hmm.
put this energy use is number one. And I like Mickey's comment very much because it's also important. Water use. Three, waste management. Manejo de desperdicios, right? Recycling. Emissions, which tends to pollute the air. And eco-friendly office and business travel policies. Well, I don't know about that. Well, let's see. Energy use. The question is, do we produce enough energy for us or we are deficitary? What do you think?
Mm, yeah, we have enough, but we use more than we need to.
So we have enough energy and more than what we need. That's your
Uh-huh.
argument. That's your thesis. What do you think, Nikki? Do we produce enough energy or we don't produce enough? And we need to increase the production of energy, the generation of energy.
Mm, well, I'm not. I don't have the exact amount of how much or how many are we producing, but I would say that we produce enough. But obviously, there are some parts in Mexico that doesn't have access to that for different reasons. Probably they don't have the services to use it, or they don't have the infrastructure to have the availability to this energy. So I think that we have enough energy, but we don't have in occasions the infrastructure to expand to other people.
Right, exactly, exactly. It says that we cling to fossil fuels mostly. Well, that
Jagerbot said.
most of our energy is produced from fossil fuels. Is not extremely clean, which is something we already knew. How about water? What are we doing with our water? Are we using our water efficiently, Mitch, Mickey? And I'm gonna give you a hint. Think of the agro industry and think of the car industry and the tanning industry, Tenerias in Leon, for example. Are we using water efficiently and intelligently or not? What do you think?
Could you repeat the question?
Yes. Are we using water efficiently or we are not very smart in the use of water? What do you think? Or
Mm,
maybe we are smart, but we need to improve our processes. It's also not fair that I say that we are dumb. Maybe there are people who are very smart, but need to improve their methods. What do you think, Mitch, Mickey?
well, of course, it is every kind of people, dumb or smart. Some people draws drops some uh, bottles of water, even if the bottle is still with water, uh, or things like that. Or some people, when are cleaning the plates or their tip, they never close the key of the water. And I always say, why you are wasting water? Things like that could be.
Yeah, of course. So we more or less waste our water. What do you think, Mickey? Thank you, Mitch. What do you think about the water use? Are we very efficient? We can improve. What's your idea about that concept?
I think that there are so many companies that have more access than the rest of people in Mexico. Obviously, we know those companies, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and obviously those companies we know that use a lot of water, and obviously they pollute a lot of water too. So I think that we have access to the water, but we don't have the rules to protect this water, and that's why we are uh, polluting so much water, and there are people who doesn't have the accessibility to this.
Let's see. Yeah, I fully agree with you, Mickey. Let's see. Let's find really quick sources of wastewater. Or yeah, sources of water waste generation. How do we waste the water in percentage? Let's see if there is a way in which they tell us what's the percentage of wasting water in, let's say, in Mexico. Do they give us some information? Okay, here. So, type of solid waste. This is solid waste. Let's see. We find something similar for water. Wastewater. Wastewater in Mexico. This is only for the purpose of Mitch's discussion on this interesting topic.
Thank you, teacher.
Yes, it's just so where do we waste most water? I know because I read this somewhere that we waste the most water in agriculture and then in the industry. Oh, let's make the question. Where do we waste more water in Mexico? Let's make this. It says like that.
Jagerbot said.
Images where
Jagerbot.
I'm talking about the processes. Agriculture, okay. Agriculture is where we waste more. Uh, waste wasting water in agriculture. Let's see if that leads us to in Mexico. Because of the poor irrigation systems that we have. That's the reason. Let me see if we find some statistics. Most of the water that we waste is because of the agriculture. Let's see, this is in the world. Index, Netherlands, we waste a lot of water. And sustainable management, bibliometric review. I'm trying to find the statistics on where we waste more water. I don't know if you can also look it up somewhere, Mitch or Mickey.
Yes, sure.
Maybe.
Which country or?
No. In Mexico, in the country, in what industry do we waste more water? In agriculture, in the automobile industry, in the tanning industry?
I heard Coca-Cola was.
Yeah. That's incorporates in a corporation. I think here it is. Let me see if this is useful. Residential, open air dumps, but this is solid waste. This is not water. I don't know. You can look up that information. This is solid waste. I'm looking for water waste.
Jaegerbot said.
Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay. Here. This is it, Mitch.
Okay.
Can you read it?
Yes. Mexico, equivalent water daily requirement, liters per capita. We have per capita, MQ per year. Water breathing annual, HUQ, external, agricultural, industrial, domestic, internal.
So look at that. Only the agricultural demand is 92% of the total water compared to the industrial one, domestic and internal. So it's much more the water that we need and that we use for agriculture than anything else by a large difference.
Ooh.
Well, this can be a map that can be interesting for you.
Indeed.
Yes, that is something that you can use. That's talking about water, energy, water, and we also said something about waste management. How do we manage our waste?
How do we manage? What do you mean?
Desperdicio, yeah. When we
Basura?
waste of all kinds. Yes.
Oh.
Do we recycle a lot or not very much? What do you think, Mickey? Do we recycle? Do we have good recycling techniques or not very good?
No, not very much.
No, not very good.
So some people think that, for example, they ban, for example, some dolls like. Sorry, I lost my mind. Sorry.
Said no,
We're talking about waste management.
Son invento de los papas.
How good are we to manage waste? We produce a lot of waste. How do we manage it? Do we recycle it, or more or less? How is the recycling industry in Mexico? Is it pretty advanced? Well, you can ask Google. Let's see.
Or Chat GPT.
Chat GPT too. But I closed it and I don't know why I cannot open it again.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I said ChatGPT, and I need to log in again. I don't know
Yes.
why.
Sometimes it closes for security.
That's it. And when I
Yeah.
try to log in, I don't recall my password.
You didn't use your Google account?
Maybe I use a Google account, right? Maybe top class.
Maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I use this one. Top class, Irapuato. Let me see. Maybe I use this one, right? Continue. And then the password. Well, that was that. Exactly. Thank you, Mitch.
Woo.
So, what was the question?
Uh, Reci- uh, which corporatives recycle more in Mexico?
Which corporations recycle more in Mexico? Coca-Cola, Grupo Bimbo, FEMSA, Walmart, Fábricas de Papel Tamaulipas. So, I don't know if you want to read what it says here, Mitch.
It's Mickey's turn, right?
Oh, yes, Mickey, you want to read this?
Yes, teacher.
As an AI language model,
As an AI language model, I don't have real-time data or access to specific statistics on recycling rates for corporations in Mexico beyond my September 2021 knowledge cutoff. Recycling practices and rankings can change over time. However, some corporations in Mexico that have shown commitment to recycling and sustainability in the past include Coca-Cola FEMSA. Coca-Cola FEMSA, the largest franchise bottler of Coca-Cola products in the world, has implemented recycling initiatives in Mexico. They have established collection centers and partnered with local organizations to promote recycling and reduce waste. Grupo Bimbo, a major bakery company, has implemented recycling programs in its operations. They have initiatives focused on recycling packaging materials and reducing waste across their supply chain. FEMSA FEMSA is a leading Mexican beverage and retail company. They have made efforts to promote recycling, including implementing recycling programs in their stores and collaborating with local communities and organizations. Walmart de Mexico y Centroamérica. Walmart, the multinational retail corporation, has implemented recycling programs in its stores across Mexico. They encourage the recycling of plastic, cardboard, and other materials. Fábricas de Papel Tamaulipas. Fábricas de Papel Tamaulipas is a paper manufacturing company in Mexico that focuses on recycling waste paper and producing recycled paper products.
well, that's incredible because some of the companies that pollute the most are also the ones that recycle the water the most, which is good. Maybe not in the same proportion, maybe yes, I don't know, I cannot say. But the question is fair, it's a legal question, right? Do they improve the situation in Mexico? Well, at least they do, right? Which is something nice. So that's how
Yeah.
we waste, how we manage the waste and recycle. How about emissions? Do we pollute the environment a lot or we don't?
About emissions, I think the most culpable, faultful
Okay.
are the corporatives because we can pollute with our car or with some buses, but for example, the enterprises fabrics, that's the one who which have a lot of emissions of everything.
Yes. Well, which organizations, Mickey, emit the most polluting particles?
Mm, in Mexico?
Yes, please. Most
Yeah, I would say Coca-Cola too.
pollution, the most pollution. Which, what would the question be? With the, which are the organizations with the most polluting practices in Mexico. Let's see what they say. Well, look at that. Mining, chemical industry, industrial manufacturing, agriculture also pollutes. Let's see what they say. I don't think they talk about companies, but about industries, the sectors. Who wants to read this, please?
Me.
Okay.
Uh, Identifying the organization with the most polluting practices in Mexico can be challenging, as population sources can vary across different sectors and industry. Additionally, pollution levels can change over time, and there may be ongoing efforts by organizations to improve their environmental impact.
Said,
However, there have been reports and studies highlighting some industries and sectors that have historically contributed to pollution in Mexico. Here are a few examples. Oil and gas industry. Mexico oil and gas industry, including the state-owned company Petróleos Mexicanos, Pemex, has faced scrutiny for its environmental impact. Oil spills, air emissions, and water contamination have been reported, particularly in regions with significant oil production and refining activities. Mining activities, especially in regions rich in mineral and resources, have been associated with environment pollution in Mexico. Mining operation can generate waste, contribute to soil and water contamination, and release pollutants into environment. Mining was minar.
Minería.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when you dig gold, zinc, copper, silver, and many other minerals or metals, the process is incredibly pollutant.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
no,
Let's
that's
see,
not
industrial
correct.
manufacturing. That's also a source of contamination.
Industrial manufacturing. Mexico has a diverse industrial sector that includes manufacturing industries such as automotive, electronics, and textiles. While not all companies within this industry have high pollution levels, certain manufacturing processes and improper waste management practices can contribute to pollution if not adequately controlled.
Very good. Thank you very much, Mitch. And the last one, Mickey, I'm sure that you thought that agriculture would probably pollute a little. Can you read this, Mickey, please?
Mhm. Agriculture and agribusiness. Intensive agriculture practices, including the use of pesticides and fertilizers, can lead to soil and water pollution. Additionally, agricultural runoff and improper waste management in agribusinesses can contribute to water pollution and ecosystem degradation.
And the last part, please.
It is important to note that efforts are being made to improve environmental practices and regulations in Mexico. Various government agencies, environmental organizations, and stakeholders are working towards reducing pollution and promoting sustainable practices across different sectors.
Well, I think what is truly important, Mitch, is that you have your index, that you decide if this is a business that you like. Okay, why is it needed? Why environmental responsibility is needed? Because if we don't, we're going to destroy the planet. That's simple. We destroy the water, the air, and the soil. Well, how do we do the process? How do we care of the environment? The first question is who, right? Who is who? What levels of people do we have? Well, we have the government, government, government. We have another level of people, which is industries and corporations. Industries and corporations. And we have the community,
Mhm.
right? We have the community, we have the people. And I'm gonna do this more independently, right? and the people is us. Well, we don't have as much power as the industries and corporations or as the government. However, people can put pressure. They do demonstrations, they go out to the streets, they say, take care of our planet. There are some organizations which I also failed to mention. We have, how do you call the ONSS, Mickey?
Sorry, teacher.
What do you call these organizations? ONG?
Mm,
Non-governmental
non,
organizations,
yeah, non-governmental organizations.
which in English actually they are called NGOs,
Hmm.
non-governmental organizations, like Greenpeace. Have you heard of Greenpeace?
Yeah.
Well, that's one an NGO. That's a non-governmental organization that puts pressure, right? Don't hunt whales, don't hunt sharks, don't do this, don't do that, because they think there is a risk. But then you need to consider all the organizations that have some power, Mitch, to enforce the protection of the earth, the air, the soil, the water, etc. What do you think of this scheme, Mitch, in which you have to think of the government, industries and corporations, people, and NGOs? What comes to your mind?
Um, a marketing strategy to show to the normal people public is demonstrate that you are eco-friendly.
Yeah, that'd be very, very important. Actually, I think that is incredibly important. You do a marketing, you do marketing of social responsibility, and you express the worries, the risk. What is at risk? You can in this promotional, you express what is at risk, what what is at risk, and you also mention what is the solution, right? I
Yes.
suppose more or less in those terms. Okay, what do you think of this then? Is the Earth still salvable? Can we salvage the Earth, or it's too late? What do you think, Mitch? Can we salvage? Can we save the Earth, or is already too polluted and we need another planet?
Mm, I heard like how can I say anuncio, and
An ad.
but not was publicity. Well, enough. That's a scientific analysis that maybe we have like 10 years or 8 now that we have to do something to regulate the balance of the planet. If not, there's not going to be uh, how can I say this?
A way back.
A way back. I wasn't remember that same word in Spanish.
Okay. Well, that must be true because we are polluting incredibly, incredibly much. Um, how important do you think, Mickey, that this promotion of the marketing of the social responsibility is? Do you believe that it's imperative that people, well, in this case, Mitch and Mitch's class, develop an ad or a program to make people conscious of the importance of the social responsibility? Or what do you think, Mickey?
Mm, yeah, I think that social responsibility using like marketing is something that will work, and that obviously there are cases where it's working. As you mentioned, Greenpeace. Um, well, I can't remember at this moment the other names of those kind of organizations, but they
Yes.
use marketing to create their campaigns. For example, I remember one campaign that was about deforestation of one forest in, I don't know if it was in Canada or where, but I remember that they were trying to you said reunite signs or reunite
It's really nice. Yes.
yeah reunite signs, and obviously I saw it in Facebook, and when you when you go in this link, or in this case in this page, then appears in other pages. For example, I was on Instagram and it appears the same advertisement.
Yes.
And well, I think that it is for a good use, you know. At the end,
Exactly.
if you want to donate, you can donate. But if you don't want to donate, or you don't have the money to do it, you just share to your social media. And at the end, it's still doing marketing and marketing and marketing.
Exactly. Well, Mitch, it looks like you have plenty of material. Thank you, Mickey. You have
Yes,
good
sir.
material to
Woo!
carry out this presentation, right?
I hope so. Thank you so much, teacher.
No, my pleasure. Mickey contributed a lot too with good ideas and so
Yes.
on. So, well, when should we meet again? How about, I don't know if Wednesday, but later
Yeah.
after 6, because remember that Wednesday I have my class from 4 to 6, and maybe even tomorrow. I don't know if tomorrow you have
No, I
time.
can tomorrow, teacher.
You can't. Well, Wednesday, Mickey, can you Wednesday?
Yes, teacher. What time?
Say 6 to 7 would be okay,
It's okay.
because I have my class at the University of Aguascalientes. So if it's 6 to 7, see you Wednesday,
Yes,
Thank
Mitch,
you.
teacher.
Mickey.
Thank you
Actually,
so much,
this
teacher.
week I can on Wednesday and on Thursday too,
You can Thursday. Okay.
and on Friday I can't because well we want to take our picture of our group picture.
Okay, very nice. This
Yeah.
generation picture.
Uh-huh.
Very nice.
And
Tell when you can.
will be on Friday, and I can on Saturday in the morning. So I can on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Okay, very good. All right. Well, then in that case, let's meet next Wednesday and then we decide on the next schedule. Okay.
It is perfect,
Okay.
teacher. Yeah.
Well, you guys enjoy. Mitch, Mickey, have a wonderful afternoon.
You too,
Thank you,
teacher.
teacher.
Take care and thank you for your time.
Have an ice cream with this heat. Is incredibly hot everywhere. So an ice cream with